Do you know we can show the hierarchical data across multiple dimensions using a chart in Power BI? Hi, I am M. Asif Hussain from Know How Academy. In this video, we are going to see what is the difference between a table chart and a matrix chart and how to show the hierarchical data across multiple dimensions meaningfully using a matrix chart in Power BI. So let's start working on it. So I have a data set here. In this data set, directly rather than showing you the matrix chart, let me show you a table chart first, how the table chart can be used and what is so important that there is a data only in 2-dimensional in table chart and the data is across multiple dimensions in matrix chart, that we are also going to look into it. So let me click on a table chart. In a table chart, we can have n number of informations to show in our particular table chart when we try to keep it in a report. For instance, I have clicked on a table chart. In this table chart, I would like to show what are my subcategories. Under each subcategory, I will be also showing how much is my sales, how much is my profit, and from which regions I am getting how much sales and how much profit. And even if I would like to show, I will be even showing the quantity. I will be even showing who are my customers. And each customer has purchased how much products, how many products, what is the quantity, what is the sales and what is the profit. So every information that you are seeing in a table chart, it is completely 2-dimensional. And if you clearly observe the values that I am entering, the data that I am choosing in order to keep it in a table chart, it is coming in a column level. It is coming in a column level. Now the point is that if I would like to show under a subcategory, for example, I even have a categorical data. Let me even show the category data here. So under category, how many subcategories are there? Under these subcategories, under each region, how much sales I have got, how much profit I have got, how much quantity is there, who are my customers, on what date and who ordered it in which date. All these informations, if I would like to showcase, it is not possible in a table chart. So the data that we enter in a table chart, it is 2-dimensional and it is completely flat. No sort of hierarchy can be created when we are selecting a table chart. So you might have a question. Is it necessary that we can have only 3 columns? Is it necessary that we can have only 4 columns or only 2 columns in a table chart? No. It purely depends upon the creativity and it purely depends upon the client requirement, how and what are they expecting from you. So whichever information is required, we can select it and we can choose it and drag and drop it in a table chart so that all the values can be clearly visible. Here I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have taken 7 columns. If you would like to take more, you can take more columns as well. You can take country also. You can take states also from each state, and for what I have got, you can take n number of columns. But the point is that you cannot show the hierarchical data in a table chart. Now, one thing that you have to consider is that when you are showing a table chart, for example, in this particular table chart, if you have, I have lot of states that I have. Now, when there are these many states, these many customer names, these many regions and all, it is very difficult and a client will not have such a patience to scroll the table chart and read each information what do we have. So out of these again, if you would like to apply some specific slicer, out of this again, if you would like to apply some specific filter and would like to see only the specific data, then yes, this chart is very perfect in order to show a specific kind of information. For example, again I will show it to you here. I will choose filter. Now out of these sales, I would like to see and who are my top 5 sales. What are my top 10 sales? Which are my top 2 regions? Which are my bottom 2 regions or bottom 3 regions? If I would like to show, I can show it. I can click on top N and I can consider which are my top 2 regions, and I would like to compare it with the profit. Let us consider. So if I click on apply filter, I will get the top 2 regions based upon the profit. The top 2 regions that I have, which is East, and the another one which is I have West. As I have multiple customer names, again I am getting in a drop down. So this is how you can use a table chart. And we cannot show a hierarchy. The data, it is completely flat in a table chart. It is 2-dimensional. Now let me show you a matrix chart. Now I am clicking on the matrix chart. Many of you might have heard the word matrix when we are in a school age. When we are studying school 9th standard and 10th standard, we have heard the word matrix, where in a brackets we used to write numbers and we used to do the calculations. It is the same word is dragged from here. So matrix chart. So in this matrix chart, what I'm going to do, if you clearly observe, a matrix chart, it is clearly defining the user to input what information you would like to show in rows, what information you would like to show in columns, and which information you would like to have it in the terms of values. So, but in a table chart, that option is not available. We have only one field, which is columns. Under one columns, we have added n number of columns. So we have only one field to input, and in that input value, we have input 7 columns, 2 columns, 3 columns, 1 column. It is your choice. But when it comes to the point of a matrix chart, in a matrix chart, we have shown what do we have to keep in rows, which information we would like to show it in the columns, what information we would like to show it in values. Let me consider that I would like to show a real-time example. Let me consider a client want to see under which date, for which category, for which region, how much sales I have got. Again, I am repeating the question. A client or a customer would like to see under which date, for which category, for which region, how much sales I have got. If a client wants to see this kind of information, what and how we have to do this using a matrix chart. Now, let me show you first in a matrix chart, then again I'll create another table chart and I would like to show you the same information, how it looks like. Now, in the rows, what I will be doing, first my client is asking for which date. So let me consider order date. Under this order date, for which category? So again, you have to keep this in a note that for each row, you can add n number of data. You can add n number of data. You can add n number of values. For example, in a row, I have added date related information, but now I would like to even add category information. Now what I will be doing? I will be even adding category here in the rows. Can we see the category? No, we cannot see the category in the, but I'll show you why this is important. Now, in a row, for each date, for each category, we have got 2 informations. Now, for each region also, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the region information in the columns. So I have got 4 regions here. Now, for each date, for each category, for each region, how much sales I have got? Sales, it is a numerical data, it's a value. So I'm adding the sales it in a value section. I have got the values. Now, let me increase the font size a bit more in order to clearly be visible to you all. So I'll go to values. I'll increase the font style to 12 or I'll make it to 16. Then I will even increase the header size as well so that it will be easy for you to look into and understand it very clearly. And I will even increase the column headers as well. Yeah, I'll make it bold and I'll keep the same as 14. Okay, so now I have my dates, I have my regions, but where are categories? That is a question. So matrix chart is so interesting chart that it shows us in a hierarchical way. Let me show it to you. If there, can you see a plus sign here? No, we can manually do it, or dynamically what we can do, we can click on drill down, and if I drill down to the next level, for each quarter, again for each year, again for each month, again for each category. So this is how we can go with it, or I can go up and I'll show it to you manually how we have to do it. Now if I click on 2016 expanded, Then under 2016, we have 4 quarters. So for each quarter, how much sales we have got for each region. Very interesting, very specific data. Now, for each quarter, again, under each quarter, how many months we have, for how many months, how much sales we got for each month. So interesting, right? So again, for each month, for each date, how much sales we have got from each region. Again, if I expand date, for which category we have got this particular sales. Again, if I expand this date 4th, again if I expand this date 5, again if I expand this date 9, again if I expand this date 15, again if I expand this date 21 of January, again if I expand this date 28th of January for quarter 1 for 2016. So for each date, for each category, how much sales I have got for each region, everything is clearly visible. So this is why we call a matrix chart as multidimensional. Okay, here this kind of opportunity is not available in a table chart, but this is available in a matrix chart where we can show the hierarchical data. Now, the same thing if I would like to show in the table chart, I would like to show it in the table chart. Let me remove all these and let me create the table chart from first in the same way how we have created. I will get the order date. I will get the category. Now, after category, we have got the region. Then we have got the sales. Now, just have a comparison which is easy to understand. Which is easy to understand? Is it very really easy to understand? A table chart, we have to scroll down. We have to match for each column to column. Then only we can get some information out of it. But in the matrix chart, that option is not available. We can sort according to ourselves. We can create a hierarchical data according to ourselves. So if I minimize it manually, then we can clearly see for each quarter, for each month, how much sales we have got, for each year, how much sales we have got, for each category, how much sales we have got. So this is a very, very clear understanding of a matrix chart. That's where drill down and drill up option is also available that we have seen. This manually we can do, or we can drill down and we can look into the further informations. So this is how a matrix chart can be created. Many people opt for matrix chart in order to show the huge data set to the client. For example, if you are working with the finance sector, if you are working with the health sector, so this kind of chart, matrix chart, will be much more suitable in order to show very clear information in multi-dimensional way to the client or customer. So that is where even we also opt to choose a matrix chart if you would like to show some hierarchical data to the client or customer. And I even suggest you, it purely depends upon what kind of data that we are handling and we are doing with it. According to that, we have to go. Many of the clients, they don't specifically tell that, hey developer, please use only this chart in order to showcase this information. No, many of the clients, they don't tell it. Few of the clients, they specify it. So if you are really a developer and if you are smart and if your creativity level thinking is high, yes, you will easily choose a matrix chart if you would like to show a hierarchical data in multi-dimensional way. Alright, so this is what a matrix chart is. So thank you for choosing Know How Academy as your source for IT knowledge. We are always here to help you to navigate the tech world. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you. Stay curious and keep learning.